Hi guys, my name is Miss KM. I hope you're all doing fine and good because I am. Today I'm going to be talking about superposition of pulses. In my previous video, I spoke about interference and the examples and explaining it. And I mentioned that I'll speak about superposition in my next video. And this is the video of superposition. So, what is superposition? Superposition means placed on top of each other. Think of superposition as, you're building bricks. So you have bricks and you're building something, cement and brick, placed on top of each other. Now, the principle of superposition states that where the pulses cross, the combined disturbance at any point is equal to the sum of disturbances. Pulses in opposite direction cancel each other out when they cross. Here, superposition leads to destructive interference. And this is the diagram that I'll be talking about. So when pulses cross in opposite directions, when they say opposite directions, this is what they mean. One pulse or disturbance is positive and the other disturbance is negative. Now guys, remember in my previous video I spoke about disturbance. Think of disturbance as movement from point to point. So pulses cross in opposite directions, right? Here superposition leads to destructive interference. We're going to speak about destructive interference now, but first of all you need to understand that when the pulses cross in opposite directions, they cancel out. So, if the disturbance are in opposite directions, we say that one is positive and the other is negative. When adding a positive and negative, the size gets smaller. So think of integers like a positive and a negative is going to give you a negative. So think of it like, let's say negative 7 plus 3. The 7 is negative and the 3 is positive. So negative 7 plus 3 is going to give me what? Negative 4. And that is a smaller number. It's negative, of course. So when the positive and a negative comes together, the size will get smaller. So now there are two types of interference. There is constructive and destructive interference. So think of constructive as to build and destructive as to break down. Okay, let's do this. Constructive, positive, destructive, negative. Think of it like that. Constructive means to build. Destructive means to break down. Okay, now constructive interference happens when the disturbance of the combined pulses is greater than the single individuals. I'll repeat myself again. Constructive interference happens when the disturbance of combined pulses are greater than single individuals. Okay, these two are the combined pulses. If these two combine, it's going to form a larger amplitude. These two are single individuals, but this is a product of these combined what? Pulses. That's why constructive interference happens when the disturbance of combined pulses is greater than individual pulses, than single individuals. So these two are singles, but when they combine together, they form a larger amplitude. Now remember guys, amplitude, it measures how big a pulse is. It can even measure how small the pulse is. So think of it like as 1 plus 1. 1 plus 1 is going to give me 2. Because 1 plus 1 combined is going to give me 2. And 2 is far much greater than what? 1, which are single individuals. That is what constructive interference is. When you add these two together, combined, it's gonna give you a greater pulse or a greater number. A positive, and a positive is gonna give you a positive. That's why this is a larger amplitude than two single individuals. Okay, now I'm going to turn over. Here we go. So destructive interference. Destructive interference happens when the combined disturbance is smaller than single individuals. Or you can say destructive interference happens when the combined disturbance is smaller than single individuals or single disturbances. So look at this one. This is a positive and this is a negative. And this is going to give you a much smaller amplitude. Think of it like I said, like I mentioned earlier, integers. -7 plus 3 is going to give what? -4. And that integer is negative, and that is much smaller amplitude. Now remember, destructive, break down. Constructive, build up. Destructive, negative. Constructive, positive. So look at this one. When this is a positive amplitude, this is a negative amplitude. When they cancel out, it will give you a smaller pulse. But when you add this and you add the other one, it's going to give you a larger amplitude, and that is constructive. So guys, remember, destructive interference, it's when it's to break down, and constructive is to build up. So basically you can say this. If this is positive and this is negative, they cancel each other out and the amplitude is smaller. This means that superposition leads to destructive interference. But when this disturbance and another disturbance, two single disturbances, add together, they'll determine a larger amplitude. And this superposition leads to constructive interference. Now remember guys, superposition means what? Placed on top of each other. Okay, I hope you've understood and liked this video. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more notifications. And don't forget to leave a comment down below. Thank you, and bye everyone.